is just fantastic. Captain's Log, Subdate 211004.1. Has anyone ever heard of Hecatoncheires? Yeah, our experiment may have rebirthed that particular creature. Now, if we can tame the thing, then of course we can employ them. All those arms will be quite handy. 7 months ago, I made a video on this channel covering John Swan with his remarkable cock-up concerning Dream, where he told a lie, told everyone about that same lie, continued running with the lie until he was busted in a VC by Nick Diorio. I back then did not believe that he could in fact come back, because I firmly believed that level of sociopathic behaviour would alienate him not only from the community as a whole, but also from those who may well be interested in watching him and those who were interested in watching him. He was renowned for doing absolutely stellar documentaries on Chris Hansen, Suzy Lu and Deji. These videos got hundreds of thousands, nay millions of views because of the quality of the production and the fact being presented. So when busted for telling such a massive lie, yeah, it was quite a remarkable downfall. I will, if you want to watch the video to get the full context of the Dream situation, link it in the pinned comment with other sources. The reason I mention this is because after a 4-month hiatus, John Swan came back to YouTube. He made a video on Mixer, NFTs, Chris Hansen because views, and the lady who was responsible for convincing Chris Chan to diddle Chris Chan's own mother, I believe. Now these videos paled in comparison to the views he got 8 months ago covering Chris Hansen, Deji, Onision, Suzy Lu, and there are a number of reasons for that. And the reason we bring this all up is because, thanks to Cog, who I saw a stream of last night, and then me reaching out to him not only in his stream chat but via Twitter DM, he sent me a copy and the unlisted link along with some sources, because John Swan made a video airing his concerns with regards to the returns he's getting for the quality of the production he is making. I did some quick digging and noticed around that time Tommy C was also streaming, just telling John to quit. There were many people on Twitter saying exactly the same thing, many of whom have a legit beef grudge with John Swan for what he did back then, and understandably they will not let that go. And for the sake of it, if you have an issue with someone and never properly ironed it out, you know what? Have at it. You were entitled to all of that in the first place. So I'm going to play some clips that I found relevant from John Swan's video, and we are going to comment on that. So this is, yes, a response video of sorts, but his video is 15 minutes long and now unlisted, for obvious reasons once you get into some of the key points he raises within the video itself. A lot of it feels very recycled from what I had with a conversation with Magog a few months ago, who I love by the way. So don't mind me if I compare him to Magog a little, but not at the same time. They are vastly different people. You'll understand why when I make those points.
I don't really do this, especially not on this channel. Just sit in front of a camera and just talk about things. But I saw Jay Schleich do it recently, and I guess I kind of got inspired by him doing that, so...
As this video is more than likely going to be very advice-heavy centric, I'm going to advise you not to draw inspiration from other creators because then you make videos like this. For the next 3.5 minutes, you talk about what happened with regards to the situation with Dream. Now there are some details with that I would contend, but to be honest, I don't think anyone cares at this point anymore. Towards the end though, you mentioned this.
And I basically just fessed up on Twitter, and I left for a few months to basically just evaluate myself and find out where the next steps were in terms of me making content or returning or leaving or what was going to happen.
Which isn't entirely true. Many of us were paying attention and noticed you would appear and disappear on Twitter. More notably, it was pointed out by Nick Diorio in a twit longer, who put out a statement on this video shortly after its release. You would say you were leaving, you would pop back on, argue, delete the tweets, pop back on, apologise, fight someone in a reply under the apology, say you're leaving, repeat. This is not the hallmarks of someone who's gone off to learn from their mistakes, or perhaps improve and be a better creator. This is the hallmarks of somebody who has never truly accepted what they did as wrong, no matter how many times you put out statements either confirming and or apologizing for what you did, and by extension what you did not do and what you should have done.
Obviously, this affected more than just my channel, it affected me mentally as well. I'm sure you can imagine having literally hundreds of thousands of people coming at you, calling you some of the worst things is not a very fun experience. I've obviously been in drama before, but generally the drama is always been on my side, or the majority of people have always been on my side, and at this point, no one was on my side because there was nothing to defend me on. There was no sort of out that you could give me.
While I'm certain many people have said this already, mentioning how this affected you, considering the grander scale of what you did before, does not make anyone want to feel sorry for you, which I'm sure someone very may well say now. But Meg, John didn't say that, and you're right. But considering the level of manipulation before, this is how it is interpreted by the vast majority of those who have already commented on this.
I decided ultimately to return to YouTube because I felt that I could still offer something to the platform, and I owed it to the people that still wanted to see me make stuff to give it a fair shot and try my hand at making content again.
While I have no doubt this statement may well be honest on your part, you later contradict it when you say that you've always wanted to be a content creator, so it is less about giving it to the fans and those who may well enjoy your content and more about you. For the next 90 seconds, you then talk about how this has impacted your channel and you financially. The whole situation, the whole drama, where because of the algorithm, when people see your videos they unsubscribe, which then pushes you out of the algorithm, which means your videos are less likely to be recommended. Because of the poor way you frame this, it almost seems like you're trying to blame them. Yes, wording is important, and while you say you understand and it doesn't matter, the fact you've gone on a little discussion tangent about the monetary aspect because it wasn't long after you moved out of your parents that the whole dream drama debacle happened. It comes across as, can you please stop unsubscribing because I need growth? You then show a chart of your views dipping. The thing is, this is mine for the last year. Notice how it started high from Christmas and then bubbles along. It happens because even if we can be as consistent as we like, maintaining it all comes down to a number of factors, which we'll get to soon, don't worry, I've got some more advice for you.
And the financial impacts from this, I'm sure you can imagine, have also not been great. Thankfully, I'm smart with money, and financial ruin for me is still, quite a long way off. But just to give you an idea of how bad things are, I am making less than half of what I should every month in order to break even.
Well then, I offer some advice to you. As someone that has a real job away from YouTube, even though this is also a full-time job for me, get a job away from YouTube. You can then still reinvest your time when you have it into your content to either continue producing documentaries or do something else, which I'll get to soon because there's more comments you make that'll challenge this whole get a job thing.
Remember, this is how I make money. This is my job. I make videos to get views, and those views generate ad revenue. And that ad revenue, 55% of that comes to me, 45% to YouTube. That's how I make money. I would love to just make videos for fun and not have to worry about ad revenue, not have to worry about views, but I do worry about it because it's my job, and it's my job to worry about it.
I'm not going to lie, as someone that also does this full time, I have been known to be a little concerned when there are drier months. You would have noticed on the Social Blade my time is quite wibbly wobbly. Because there are some points in the year either I burn out or it's a drier month because people go on holidays. It's just a fact of life. While it is our job to be concerned, we should always make sure we are secure. In your case, you have dwindling savings. In my case, I have a real job. I feel like I need to emphasize that again because it does help you, and while it would be lovely to enjoy doing this for fun, the fact you don't treat it as fun is another stress you bring on yourself. You then spend the next 30 seconds of a bit I've removed because it's just redundant, talking about how the views were so good then, they were so good, can we go back to that? Without saying that, of course. Can we just have all those lovely views even for videos that weren't as good? But now look, I haven't broken even for 7 straight months, financially, and I don't know what to do. We've all come up with solutions, don't worry. I've got some for you. We'll get to them in a moment.
I didn't know whether I should even talk about this because, it just comes across as me just complaining.
Well, at least you got something right.
Not even giving myself a solution. But I don't really know what else I'm supposed to do at this point anymore. I'm really at a loss.
So now we've reached a part where I know you're going to explain your reasons for why you don't make these changes, but I'm going to offer you some advice anyway. Without Content Constable on my channel, I struggled to grow. I really did. It wasn't until last year I was told by my server mods, one more notably, that I should dip my feet into more regular content on current events online as it helps grow your channel and the views are good. With my very neutral delivery, it comes across as okay. So I did, and it really helped my channel grow. I'm never going to turn my back on that, nor am I going to turn my back on the things I enjoyed doing. So making more regular content would serve you well. Building up a catalogue is better than just having a few golden eggs, because even though they have rewatchability, because of how long it takes you to make them, they're not sustainable in the long run. I said this to Magog because he wanted to do more character-based work, and I said, do regular content, because it will help you and then build around that. Because of the nature of your, let's call it, cancellation, you have to rebuild from the base up. I know of only one creator who's done it and been successful, and no, I don't mean Turkey Tom. I'm referring to Kraut, formerly Kraut & Tea, formerly an anti-SJW shitlord skeptic trademark, now doing historical documentary content, and his channel at one point was over 100,000, dipped under 100,000, now over 300,000, and for every video he's getting hundreds of thousands of views for incredibly well-researched documentaries with really bad art that I'm pretty sure he draws, but it's really good anyway, because he threw himself into it. For you, regular content would serve you well while you make documentaries. It's what I did around Content Constable, even though my documentary style is, by comparison to yours, utter shite. Other things you can do, if you don't want to do it on the main channel, make that regular content on your second channel and grow it. Do game streams on Twitch, grow a platform over there. Spread yourself a little more, be a bit more proactive, stop talking about the past and obsessively being salty about it, and all that you have lost, and focus on what you can do. If you can't think of these solutions, think about why you aren't doing it. Because it inevitably becomes the argument of, if you're going to make every reason for why you won't do something, try and give me one reason why you can do it instead. Because I promise you that one reason will yield a better result as you seek to rebuild.
Because my videos take a while to make. I put pride into my content, I put pride into my videos. I could pump out videos more frequently, but that means the quality of the content would also have to take a dive, which means the people that subbed for the high quality content would unsub once they see the content has dropped in quality.
And this is the reason why you're struggling, because you're thinking only of the documentaries, you're not thinking of what you can do away from it. Again, the second channel would benefit you. And if all you do is cater to those who come for documentaries, you're going to struggle to grow because those same people who came for documentaries left when they lost respect for you. Do try and remember here, your credibility is shot.
I wish I could just go back to the days where, I didn't have to rely on this and I didn't have to think about money or think about revenue, but unfortunately I do have to think about it. And it's just simple understanding of how money works. I can't put in a whole month into a video for it to get 50k, 60k views. That's not sustainable for me. So I'm at a loss.
50,000, 60,000 per video, that's amazing. For anyone else that isn't thinking they deserve 200,000 to 300,000 views per video. This is the whole rewatchability thing again. If you had one video that guarantees 300,000-400,000 views, but you obviously diminished that when you lost all your credibility, how do you go forward? You either stay in your lane and continue to stagnate, or you change. We all have to adapt, especially if we want to be monetized. The same should apply to your format and frequency of upload.
I'm really at a loss here. I've been talking to people and trying to think of solutions, and no one can even help me. Making videos is always what I wanted to do. It's my job, it's my career. I couldn't imagine myself doing anything else. University doesn't interest me. I could go full scale into editing work, but even then, this is really what I want to do. This is what I wanted to do forever. And
so within this last bit, because I'm not going to play the rest, it's all woe be me, I don't care about it in the slightest. We're going to talk about the first point, you spokespeople and come up with nothing. I hope you got something from this then, because solutions aren't hard to find. It's whether or not you're willing to employ them to better yourself, adapt and change, or stagnate and fail. The second, Mr. Matica put this right. All creators go through a rise and fall. So they go up, they reach their little stratosphere, they plateau for a while, they come down. Now either they come down naturally, or in every single bleeding case, they come down because they screw up. In the context of what Metka was talking about, it was Wings of Redemption. The only exception I can think of legit is Kraut. Why don't you reach out to someone like him? Because honestly, he's one of the best examples of someone who can come back. If you want to be a creator full time, you've got to be willing to be different. You've got to be willing to stand up. You've got to be willing to try. You will only fail if you think you are above change. You are above adapting. You make good content, you really do. And I don't wish anyone to quit. But with videos like this, I can understand and empathize with those who say you should, because you clearly lack the intelligence and/or stones. Personally, I think, change what you're doing. It's not rocket science. Yes, the views won't be anywhere near as high as the documentaries, but that's where the documentaries are a treat, and it is why I firmly believe you should use the second channel to do this. But I could be wrong, and you're welcome to ignore my advice because, as has been proven by everyone that's commented, as much as we want you to succeed, there is a level of arrogance from you where you won't listen to these suggestions.